YouTube, welcome to the Emporium Outdoors. My name is Michael and today we have Esme and Simon. So in today's video I'm going to show you my ultimate car or truck camping setup. So this is kind of a lightweight setup, but it has everything you'll need and it's also extremely comfortable. So let's get started. So let's go through the equipment one piece at a time. So this is the TETON XXL outfitted cot. I have a TETON Celsius sleeping bag. I have the TETON Vista 1 tent cot. And I also have the matching mattress, the XXL mattress that kind of fits with the whole system. There are a couple of other pieces that I'll show you as well, just to make the ultimate camp or truck camping setup. And I'll go over those right now. So the two additional pieces that I have is a small aluminium lightweight table and a small chair as well, just to complete the setup. So we're going to run a timer as we do this so that you can see how long this actually takes me to set up. Time. So that took less than 9 minutes to complete the whole setup, ready for the evening. So this is my ultimate car or truck camping setup. I find it's very, very quick to set up. Has everything you need for a couple of nights. Has obviously shelter, got a nice sleeping bag and a very thick mattress, lots of comfort. We also have this little table just to keep things away from the ground. So if you want to actually cook or anything like that, it's nice to have it high up. And also a nice little stool or seat. I actually use it with a UTV, and this is one of the common setups that I use. And I've used this exact setup down to -30 Celsius without too many problems. It's nice to have the addition of the table and the chair as well. You can cook off the ground, everything's close to hand. So you can put a little stove on there, lantern, whichever. And then for the night time, this can easily be folded up and put underneath the tent cot as well. The sleeping bag is a -34 Celsius TETON sleeping bag. I've had good results with this. I wouldn't take it anywhere down to -34. The mattress is very, very comfortable. It's a foam mattress, so it doesn't have inflation. There's no worry about it puncturing. It's a little bit bulky, but that's the only downside to it. It's very, very comfortable. The tent cot just at the moment has the standard cover, and some people do note that water could get underneath the cot. There is a longer fly that comes all the way to the ground, and I will show you that setup shortly. But this is a great way to set things up, and within 9 minutes to have your entire camp set up from the back of your truck, as you've seen me do, I find that really efficient. So let's climb inside and take a look at some of the details of the Vista 1 tent. So I'm 5'9", and when I'm lying into the tent cot, I can touch the bottom of the fabric with my head touching the other end. So it's not a huge amount of space in here, but with it being a double wall tent, if you do touch the sides, it's not the end of the world. I do like the addition of the net above. That's a great place to store things during the night. If you like to have a bottle of water or whatever, that's really helpful. This is an upgrade from the earlier version of the TETON Outfitters cot tent. It's great for the Vista one to include that. I personally find this a really good setup for me. It works great. Esme and Simon have both slept in this cot with me with no problems. Lots of side room as well. It's not very narrow, and there's a space to actually keep things down the side of the mattress and the cot as well. So it's very easy for me to get in and out of as well. You know, I could see myself in later years using this as my sole type of camping, because it is very friendly for people with limited mobility. If you hate sleeping on the ground, for instance, this is a great setup. And if you're not comfortable with hammocks, because they can be difficult to get in and out of sometimes, then this is a great alternative. The only downside is the cot is a little bit heavy, but it's quite easy to assemble, even if you didn't have a lot of like upper body strength or whatever. And then just getting in and out of the cot tent is very easy. It's much like a bed at home. You can just sit on the side, swing your legs out, put your shoes on, and you have your table and your chair right there. So I've actually taken off the fly from the Vista one now, so that you can get a better view of how the tent looks and how much space there is inside. Like I say, I find it very comfortable. I'm 5'9". I think if you're pushing the kind of 6 foot mark, this may be a little bit on the smaller side for you if you really want to stretch out, and some people sleep as straight as a board. If you're happy to kind of, you know, turn on your side and bend your legs slightly, I don't think it'd be that much of a problem. It depends how you sleep. Everyone's individual. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Elite rainfly on now. Now the Elite rainfly comes all the way down to the ground, and I recommend this for winter camping, or if you're camping where you know there's going to be lots of rain. I think that the standard fly is great for the odd shower, but if you know that you're going to be camping where there is a lot of rain and you're going to be expecting rain, I would certainly upgrade to the Elite rainfly. So I'm going to show you how that goes on right now. So it does come in its own contained package, relatively small. It's got a little bit of weight to it, obviously. There are some included pegs. But it clips on just like the standard fly. So I'll just go ahead and do that. So hopefully you can see the whole of the tent. It does make the tent appear much larger, which is a great thing. A lot more storage. These side walls actually come all the way down to the ground, and they can be staked out through the eyelets, and that goes all the way around. The other beauty of this particular setup as well is you don't have to have it in the down mode. Each of the panels around the outside can be rolled up and stored, so it can serve the purpose of the original fly as well. So with the Elite fly, there's also the inclusion of the vent on the back side, which is going to help with condensation. Obviously you're covering in more of the tent area, so it's more likely that condensation is going to build up. So they just add that particular feature just to help with it. But there is airflow underneath, and there is somewhat of a vestibule at the front as well that pulls out to allow you a little bit more room underneath, keep all your things dry. But underneath the cot is actually quite a lot of storage area if you want to keep things in there and dry. So overall, it's actually quite a lot of room. So hopefully you can see there's still lots of room to get in and out of the tent cot. It more or less opens up the entire side just as before. It's very easy to get in and out. It's just a matter of sitting like you would on a regular bed at home, and just a matter of ducking inside and you're in bed. What I'm going to do now is just zip around the perimeter of the tent and get all those little panels rolled up to show you how it would be in the stored configuration. So this is the tent now with the panels actually rolled up, and you can see it's very similar to the original fly that came with the tent, the short fly. I did take the time to roll the panels the wrong way, so rolled them inside, and that allows any rain that would come down the fly just to roll over the edge and off the tent, rather than if you roll them the natural way, I would think, called natural, but the way I wanted to roll it, obviously water would sit in that gap. So I've gone through all the different configurations you can have your Vista one in whilst camping. I often camp without any fly on at all. I find that actually the best. It's great on a warmer evening, or if it's not too cold. You can stare up at the sky, the big mesh over the top. It's great for ventilation, and you really feel part of the environment you're camping in, which I love. So here are a couple of final thoughts on the Vista one and the TETON tent cot setup. I have tried a couple of different tent cot setups, and this is by far my favorite product. It is modular, which is a big selling point for me. So I have used this cot and mattress as a guest bed for people staying over at my home. So that's really good value for me to use it for other things apart from just one purpose. The tent itself can also be used individually. So you don't have to have the cot and the mat. You can just, if you already have a mat, you can just take the tent with you and set it up. It's a great pop-up tent. Probably not uber light for backpacking, but it could be done. It's not terribly heavy, but it is a good solid space. And with the standard fly, it would act just like a regular tent. So that's fantastic. One of the big improvements with the Vista one over the original Outfitter tent is the color. The colors now come in 3 different shades. This is the green, which I love. I wasn't a big fan of the orangey yellow color. I just thought that stood out too much and it wasn't great for me. So this is a huge improvement. On a previous video, I did make a recommendation to Teton, and they've somewhat, I think, gone down that route with the larger pull-out vestibule on the front, which is great. But I did a mock-up of how they could do this with a much larger vestibule on the front. That would really convert this into a full all-season tent, in my opinion. With just a couple of simple poles on the front, and to bring the vestibule out, have a little place you could actually put a chair and a table just as I am now. This would really convert this into something you could use no matter what the weather, and not be outside if you wanted to cook and do other things like that. I think if you had that type of setup as well, because they do have the double version of this, which is 2 tent cots together and 2 entries, but you could have them so they were butted together, and you could have 2 separate ones, 2 friends with 2 separate sleeping compartments, but a combined shared space in the middle. And I'm sure that wouldn't be too difficult. I'd be happy to pay whatever price for that upgraded fly, and that's all it would be. The rest of the equipment would be the same. The inner, obviously the cot would be the same, and all that would have to change is just the fly, and that could really be a seller. I think lots of people, lots of friends would buy these, combine the 2, and it would be a great little living space, even just to keep out the sun or keep the bugs out, whichever, and still have your independent private sleeping arrangements. So those are my thoughts on the ultimate car, truck, UTV camping setup. This can all be done under 9 minutes setup, and I'm sure I'll pack it up in just about the same amount of time. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any comments, then please leave them below. Let me know what your ideal setup is. Would this work for you, or would you recommend something different? So until next time, take care. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, leave me a comment, maybe a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.